hang on, there's been lots of places around the world where the rulers of a country have been really mean to their people. In some cases, the people rise up and have peaceful protests. So why is it do the terrorists feel like they need to use violence rather than use something like peaceful protests? Well, maybe it's because they just don't think that the government would listen to them. Let me give you an example. Let's start with, well, obviously, the IRA. The IRA were kept from power and kept from having a bigger say in politics due to a system called gerrymandering. Gerrymandering basically divided up the voting blocks to ensure that the nationalists never had a majority in a certain zone, so therefore they could never elect their MP to power. What this basically means is that not enough nationalist MPs got voted into Parliament in the UK, nor did they get voted into the Northern Irish Assembly either. So the people of the IRA thought, well, hang on, we don't really have a chance at the moment because we can't use peaceful methods because the political system is rigged against us. They managed to find a way so that we cannot get power to have our say. So you can understand therefore why the IRA might go, maybe we need to use something a bit tougher, maybe violence. What about the PLO? Well, again, they don't really have, the Palestinian people don't really have a political voice, in the sense that who do they try and persuade to give them more rights? They're based in refugee camps. They're not Israeli citizens. So the Israeli government is under no obligation to listen to what they have to say. And what about Al-Qaeda? Well, they also feel that their ideas aren't being listened to. Now, if you remember, bin Laden is from Saudi Arabia, and he's upset that the Saudi Arabian government seem to be westernizing. They seem to be turning into a government that looks more like the governments in America and in Britain than they would to a traditional Muslim government. And Al-Qaeda weren't happy with that. They thought, no, we should be more Muslim, not more like the Americans. And it's a similar thing across the Middle East. Turkey is also westernizing, trying to look a bit more like Western governments like Britain and the United States. And the same is true of Egypt. So if you remember, when bin Laden criticizes the king of Saudi Arabia and says, look, we should be more Muslim, but you're making us westernized, you're making us look like the Americans, that's unacceptable. When he criticized the king, do you remember what he did? That's right, he kicked him out of the country. He said, off with you. Poor old bin Laden had to go into Africa and stay in Sudan for a bit.